Welcome back. You are listening to Whissel Wednesdays here on KCBQ 1170. My name is Kyle Whissel, your host with Whissel Realty, joined as always by Mr. Jason Hall with Team Home Loans and the man of the hour, Mr. Brian Daly with REIG Renovations.
Honored to be here, man.
So you used to have your own show, so this is a little bit different because you're on the other side of the table right now.
We still do. So we run it once a month now. But I let my sales guy Marcel. He's a star, so he takes it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice. So your company is REIG Renovations.
Yeah.
And it seems that a lot of buzz in the marketplace is that the word flipping or flipper tends to have a bad connotation with it. So what's the difference, in your opinion, between a flipper and a renovation company like yours?
Yeah, real estate agents really do not like flippers. We've been getting that a lot lately too. I had one guy the other day email us and say, I cannot wait till the day that all you flippers die and go out of business.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow.
Not really. I don't think he meant literally die. I hope not. Anyway.
If he did,
You
then
never
you
know
might
with
want to
these real
forward
estate
that to the
agents.
police department.
Yeah.
Doing this 20 plus years, that could be a possible. These real estate agents, some of them are crazy.
I know. So anyway, flippers, we go to the famous saying, which is appropriate for Kyle. Don't take offense to this though, but lipstick on a pig. There's a lot of guys out there, a lot of bigger companies, smaller companies that will do the very, very bare minimum just to make the house look good, but they will not address some of the health and safety and more functionality things that you don't necessarily get the value for. Not always on the back end, but it really is what's necessary to get the house to a condition that should be sold to a buyer at top of the market.
Okay.
A lot of times you'll see them try to pass off a crappy roof, or they won't handle electric issues. They won't handle plumbing. So we try to go above and beyond in regards to what's expected in the market. Including, we do a lot of sewer laterals because those are things that are hidden under the ground, but there's a lot of issues with that in these old homes in San Diego, a lot of cast iron. So whenever we come across one that's really, really bad, we replace it. A lot of times these guys don't even look at it.
Okay.
Roofs, if it's at the end of its life, even if it has 2 years left, we'll generally replace it. Most of these guys will just sell it as it is and take a buyer. Most buyers at this point, the way the market is, they'll buy it and they'll still pay top dollar, but a lot of times we just don't feel it's right, and so we'll replace them. That's just a couple examples, but
I agree, and we see that a lot because what's the return on investment of replacing a sewer lateral that nobody sees, and most people probably don't even know what the heck that is.
Yep.
Right, so there's a lot of things that the majority of flippers don't care about. They really do just want to put lipstick on the pig, make it look pretty, and move on to the next one.
We walk through a lot of. I try to go through as many competition flips as we can. And one thing that we also pride ourselves on is related to the functionality of the home with the layout. And I see a lot of these guys. They will not touch a wall. They will not do little things here and there throughout the house that'll make the house more functional. And it does add a little bit extra time. It does add a little bit extra cost, but I hope we get it on the back end, but when I look at these houses, some of these buyers are just paying for it because they want a house right now, and it's just it just doesn't make any sense with what they're selling, and so that's another way we go a step beyond.
Definitely, and that's a big lesson. If you're listening to the show and you're looking out there looking to buy a home, floor plan is crucial. I think that's a big lesson I've learned over the last couple years. We sell a few hundred houses a year, but every time we get a house that has one of those really funky floor plans where things just don't make sense. We had one recently where there was a master bedroom upstairs, or at least the biggest bedroom upstairs, and no bathroom to use. Think about that. People, why would you not add a bathroom up there, right? Because how is somebody going to use that space up there? So when you're out there looking at houses, really pay attention to the floor plan of the house. You might be able to overlook something like that when you're buying it, but you've got to understand when you go to sell that house, 5 years, 10 years down the road, most people aren't going to be able to overlook those kinds of things. So that's really cool that you guys actually take the time to make a functional floor plan out of the house. Crazy concept, right?
Yeah. It is, and it's just a matter of taking down a wall or two, or opening, or even closing up a wall sometimes helps. So,
So Brian, what do you guys see here in the future for San Diego? You guys are in business, you guys are doing a lot of deals. So what are your outlook?
Well, we try to look at the market every quarter or so. The market's hot right now still, especially, we're very big on the sub 500,000 market, I guess. I have seen some slowdown in the higher priced homes. I don't know if you see the same, Kyle, but so for our short-term outlook is really, really good. And everything right now, and you can touch on this more, I think it's all related to interest rates.
Right.
I feel good about short-term interest rates. I don't know about going, into the fourth quarter of the year. I think interest rates are going to stay relatively the same levels until next summer. It sounds like I don't think the Fed's going to make any changes, but again, you probably have more comment on that.
Well, I mean, the Fed makes changes, but it doesn't always impact long-term rates, right? Yeah. So, they're going to come off the 0% rate and they're going to raise rates, but it doesn't always automatically mean long-term rates are going up. So a lot of people say, well, if the Fed raises 0.5%, Jason, does that mean rates are going from 4 to 4.5? And the answer is no. Sometimes they go down because they've raised rates. And that's what people understand. Because again, the Fed's controlling short-term rates, overnight banking rates, and not long-term. Yeah. The investors are really controlling the long-term rate and where they want to park their money and the supply and demand that goes with that. So, that always makes a move. But I agree with you. I think rates are going to stay relatively low. They are up this last month. But I don't think the market will allow a 5% rate or 6% rate like we had, in the years past. I think it's going to take some time for the economy to really recover before that happens. So I agree with you. I think rates will be in a good spot there, Brian.
Definitely. Yeah. Again, you're listening to Whissel Wednesdays here on KCBQ 1170. We're talking with Brian Daly, REIG Renovations, what's going on in the market, what the difference is between flippers, renovators. With the interest rates, we've seen it to where if there is a 0.5 point adjustment in interest rates, you're seeing a lot of buyers get off the fence and say, oh, nope, I don't want to buy anymore. Rates are too high. Yeah. And it's kind of scary. If you're in the market to buy and a 0.5 point interest rate changes your decision to buy or not, that's kind of scary.
Especially where the rates are right now. I mean, a 0.5 point adjustment up is still you're talking
still record lows.
Never. We won't get, we'll get to a normal market in interest rates eventually, and we won't see these again for a long time.
Yeah. No one knows for sure though, Brian. Yeah. My gut is I remember when 6.5% was the low. We never broke 6.5%. And, about 10 years ago, we broke 6.5, and we were like, wow, we're below 6.5. And now if you tell somebody 5, they think you're robbing them. So we just have this whole different, consumer base that just really, I don't know if they're going to be able to accept the rates until they're making a ton of money. So I just really think we're going to be in this 3 to 5% range for some time. I mean, Japan's been that way for years, and they inflated and put a bunch of QE into their system, kind of like we've done. So everybody assumed it'd be this crazy inflation and rates would go roaring up, but we haven't seen that yet. So we'll see.
I love it. So Brian, tell me, a little more about what makes REIG a little different than some of the other, house flipping renovation companies that are out there in San Diego.
Yeah, we pride ourselves on the long-term relationships, and I know a lot of these companies are really just out there to buy a property, and they don't care really who they have to step on to do it. And so we will pass up homes all the time if we feel like it's not the right fit, if it's not the good situation for the seller, if it's not a good situation for us. So that's one thing, it's really important to us as relationships in the business. It's a small community in the real estate world, and so whenever we have a chance to build a relationship with someone, we're not going to take advantage of that in any way. Another way that's different is that we do a lot of direct to homeowner business. We have positioned ourselves as a service for homeowners, not just somebody that's going to come in there and lowball them, but somebody that's there for a homeowner that just doesn't want to go through the process of selling through a realtor or can't go through the process of selling through a realtor. We're getting in front of them and actually going direct to homeowner, where a lot of these guys are not able to do that, and they're not able to do it effectively because they take advantage of homeowners. So.
Okay. And then are you guys using licensed contractors on all the work you guys do, or how does that work?
Yeah, we actually have our own construction company. So we have 4 or 5 crews that we run at a time. So we do 4 or 5 of our own projects. And then if we're over capacity, we'll sub out to GCs, but always using licensed bonded contracts.
I think that's a big difference between you guys and a lot of the other people out there. Is most of these guys, they're not using licensed, general contractors on anything. They're just churning and burning, keeping costs as low as they can. And like you said, the quality of work's not the same. They're not doing, the essentials with plumbing and electrical and all that stuff. So if you want to learn more about Brian's company at REIG, shoot us a text, give us a call, 619-663-7355, 619-663-7355. We're going to head to a break. When we get back, Brian, I want to learn a little bit more about where these homes are coming to you guys from, where you're finding these deals. You are listening to Whissel Wednesdays here on KCBQ 1170.